Baseball, Books, and Banter with me, your host, Nicole Aslin, and the crowd goes wild or mild. Or I'm coming to you from a rainy day in New England. It's hot, it's humid, but yesterday we had a gorgeous day, and I spent the day at the Cape with my dad and my aunt, my uncle, and my cousins, and we had a nice little cookout. And then my dad and I went to a Cape League baseball game for a few innings. It did not go the way of the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox, but it was my first ever Cape League game, so I was really excited to go. Saw a whole bunch of scouts watching and learned some new colleges I had no idea were a thing. So I highly recommend it if you're on the Cape for the next 2 weeks to go. Or if you come visit next year, definitely make sure you go. You might see the stars of tomorrow, as they like to say. Today's guest is a returning guest, Elise Hart Kipness, who I've talked about ad nauseum about how much I love her Kate Green series. Her last book was right here, and now I don't know where it went, but it was Dangerous Play. And it follows Kate Green, former athlete, now my cat is crying to me, now journalist, and how she kind of navigates some special series of events. And the newest book comes out at the end of, or in the middle of August, right during the U.S. Open, or right before the U.S. Open, which is where the book is set. So, tennis, anyone? And I had her on as the first guest of my second season of the podcast, which I make up the season, so they don't really matter, but it was really exciting for me because, as I say in the podcast, I met her at the New England Crime Bake. She was a debut author, and I'm obsessed. And so it's a lot of me fangirling, which happens a lot on this podcast because I invite the guests. And if they're guests that I like, then I'm going to fangirl a little bit about them. But before we get into the podcast, as always, things that I'm obsessed with, sponsored by me. A couple of weeks ago, my dad was in town, and my brother and his girlfriend, and my dad and I had gone, he loves to go on a trip to Home Depot, so I always go with him, and he had these candies in the car from, I guess, when they drove up, and I had a few. Now I'm addicted. It's the Sour Patch Kids watermelon flavored thing, gummies. I could eat them by the box full. I don't know why. They're not super sour, but they have that tartness. So I've been eating a lot of those, which is why I'm probably not losing weight. Yeah, so that's that. I'm also really obsessed with, I don't know if I talked about this before, the show Bargain Hunt. It's a BBC show. I get it through Amazon Prime, BBC Select subscription. And it's basically just a bunch of people that go shopping for antiques and then sell them at auction. And have I ever been to an auction? No. Do I buy antiques? Not really. And it's kind of funny because I'm into that. And a future podcast is actually with someone who does estate sales and everything like that. And we didn't even talk about Bargain Hunt. So I refrained from being a fangirl about that. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm watching in between the Tour de France, my soap operas, my stories, and working. The Tour de France just ended like an hour ago. The winner was who we all expected, Tadej Pogacar. I'm excited. The guy who won the stage today was Wout van Aert, and I'm a Wout van Aert girly. And all the Americans held their own. So yay for America. At least somebody's doing something good for the country. No politics. The Red Sox are also on right now. They're winning 1-0 against the Dodgers in the second inning. They won last night with a pretty good game from Jarren Duran, so don't trade him. We have the trade deadline at the end of the week, so I might have more to talk about next week. Hopefully they're not going to trade any of your young guys. I'm also in love with Abraham Toro, who is a French-Canadian player, and as a French-Canadian descendant of Quebecois, I am obsessed. And then other sports-wise, I mean, it's kind of like we said, a dead time. Football's starting training camp started, so Patriots are going to be back on the thing. But the Red Sox are still in the wild card hunt. So as much as I say they're meh, they're still there. And the Yankees are losing, which always makes me happy. So without further ado, in more sports, say hi to Elise. And then welcome back to a friend of the program, Elise Hart Kipness. Welcome.
Thank you. I am so excited to be here. Thank you for
You
having me again.
you cannot be more excited than I am because
You're the
first of all,
nicest.
you're like amazing because you put out a book a year since I met you. You have
Yeah.
you have a TV deal for Kate Green. Your cover reveal was in People magazine. Like what? And I don't know
Yeah.
if this is intentional, but are you releasing close what's the most recent one?
Close
Close
call,
Call.
close
Yeah, I was
call.
like I thought it was Close Call. Uh on August 19th because the US Open is that coming up? Or was that a
Yes.
happy accident?
No, you know
Okay.
what? Actually, um, originally my third book was scheduled to come out again in the fall.
Okay.
And my agent and my editor at Thomas and Mercer were like, why?
Right. Because for those that don't know, because you're not like me and obsessive, the book is set at the US Open.
The book is set at the US Open. So they're like, what do you think if could you write it and turn it in 6 weeks earlier? And I was like, and I want to just say they did not pressure me. I was
Oh,
part of the discussion too, because it just made so much sense,
yeah.
right? Like the US Open is something that happens for 2 weeks once a year. It's not like my other books where the NBA is going on for a long season and it's the end of the tennis season. The US Open is like the crowning jewel at the end of the
Yeah.
season. So it just made so much sense. So I didn't leave my house for like a month.
Right.
And with their help too, like we got it done. And I'm so happy because I think it just, people are excited about the US Open. So like it made so much sense.
Yeah. Like
So
I
yes, we did it very much on purpose.
just finished watching Wimbledon and I'm like, when's my next tennis thing to sit in? I don't even like
Right.
tennis, but like for these big ones, the French Open, I like the French and the London because since I work from home, it's kind of just background noise and it's kind of
Yeah,
soothing because
yeah.
it's quiet, just with a hit every now and then. Like right now, I have the Tour de France on in the background. That's a little less soothing. There's a little less more
Right.
action happening, but
Right.
today is fine because it's the last day, so they're all going easy on each other. Um, but I love that. Are you doing are because I know you're active in the New York area, are you doing anything with the US Open with the book? Or is it kind of just around?
Yeah, I'm going on this really big tour.
Yeah.
It's definitely my biggest tour. So I'm going to be gone for part of the US
Okay.
Open, but my hope is that at the end, at the later matches, that stay tuned. There
Yeah.
might be some tie-ins.
Woo! I'm excited. And
Yeah,
I will
suspense, suspense,
I
suspense.
will say my cup is right
Oh,
next to
you
me on
got
my
your cup.
desk. Yep.
Yay.
And
Yeah.
my little all the stuff is in here still. My little lip balm or no mints. They were mints. That's
Mince, mince.
mints.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm very excited about this. So that's my little, it's on my desk. And I'm like, I use it a little bit as inspiration because you're like so prolific with your writing. That I'm like, oh, I should write more because because for those that don't know, so you were the first guest on my second season. I have seasons, I don't know. Because I had met you at the New England Crime Bake. You were one of the debut
Right.
authors, and
I
you
was,
held up
yes.
your book, Dangerous Play, and you were like, I'm a former sports reporter, and I'm writing about a former sports reporter, and it's sports. And I was like, hi, I'm also sports, and I love this. So I was so happy to get you on, and now, like I said, just off with a rocket. So congratulations on everything. Um,
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
this is nothing to do with writing first, but I want to get it out of the way before I forget. What are your labradoodles names?
I love that question. Okay, so we have three, and the oldest is Bodie, and he's 15, and he's like we're staying out on Long Island for the month, and he's getting old, so this house that we're renting is has a lot of stairs, and my husband and I have to carry Bodie up and down the stairs, which is, it's sad, but he's so great.
Uh,
And then we have Skylar, who's 7,
okay.
and Kelsey, who had been going through her terrible twos for a while and her terrible teens. Now she's 4, but now she's like the sweetest and like, just wants to be with us. So
Yeah.
yeah,
My,
those are
my
our,
the reason I ask is my aunt has what is she called? A Woodle, a Wheaten Terrier Doodle.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
He's tall and stuff. But we just found out a new neighbor's moving into our house, and I've been obsessed with this all weekend because I found it out. It's a corgi black lab mix. So they were
I
calling
haven't heard of that.
no, they got the little corgi legs, but the lab face and tail. And so they
Wow.
were calling it a lorgie. But then when I Googled it yesterday to look at pictures, they were calling it a corgador. And I was like, well, I love that. So
That's
um,
adorable.
as a cat
Yeah.
lady, I love dogs too. So I just can't have them because I don't want to walk. It's hot out. I don't have a yard they can run in. So I get very excited about people and their dogs. So when I was reading through on my notes again, I was like, oh, I have to ask her because that's I went to and you split your time. Well, you're in Long Island for the month. Your son's visiting from London,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. But you generally split your time between Key West and Connecticut, which
Correct.
could not be more different, right?
Yeah, yeah, they are. What's interesting about Key West is a lot of people like, if you don't know it that well, you think of it as like
Party,
party town,
yeah,
right? Like, let's go for our bachelorette party and this and that. But Key West has a really, really intense arts and culture
right.
community. And like, so many authors live there.
That's awesome.
I mean, Judy Blume's bookstore is there. And, you just have a lot of authors. You have a lot of artists, a lot of musicians. In fact, I learned recently that it's not an accident that they all ended up there. During the WPO,
Hmm,
artists were brought to Key West as their place to work.
right.
So it really built up for a specific reason. And I'm very involved with the library there. I'm on the board of the Key West Library, and we bring in guests,
Yeah.
and we're having a lot of really cool people coming this
Oh,
year.
that's awesome.
So it's a different Key West than people think about.
Yeah,
Um,
my family and I, we vacationed there after I think I graduated high school, and we did the
mhm.
whole. We flew into whatever Miami, and then drove the islands to Key West.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I mean, thinking back on it, I'm like, that was really cool of a trip because you got to see all the little islands, and then you're right,
yeah,
Key West. I wasn't even able to drink yet, but it
right.
still had that vibe of like it almost feels like a Caribbean island in the US.
Yes,
Very chill. Yes, there's
yes,
a party segment, but it's also very like beachy, death in paradise kind of vibe,
yes, yes.
which was so cool.
Uh, People should watch Bloodline,
Okay.
which it doesn't take place on Key West. It takes place, I think it's Isle Morada,
Yeah.
um, but it's like very island feeling, and it's such a good thriller.
And I
Like,
mean, hello, as a
oh,
cat
so
lady,
good.
can I love Key West more? Ernest Hemingway's
I know.
and then
Six
Isle Morada,
Toes.
we were calling Isle Morada the Isle of Cats because everywhere we went, just cats would come walking up to you. And I'm like, what is this? This is like
Yes,
the dream. I do have
I
one cat
know.
now, Fern, who does have the six toes, and it's so
Really?
yeah, she's got her what is
Oh,
it,
that's
multi
so
pedal? I don't know.
cool.
Yeah, it's a little annoying when she's making biscuits on your chest. There's a lot of extra clicking happening, and I'm like, you could relax that. Like that's not too bad. um, and
That's funny.
so do you find this is a weird way to put this question, but do you find being in that kind of environment with all these creative types, it's almost easier to write because are you constantly inspired, or is it kind of the same in both places?
Yeah, that's a good question. The thing about Connecticut is there's this like great group of Connecticut authors,
Or-
and they're my first author friends. I have like Tessa Wiegert and
yeah.
Wendy Walker and Lynn Constantine. So um, that was my first group of author friends, and Tessa's the one who like really encouraged me to find my agent and go to Thriller Fest and all of that. So I don't know because I feel really lucky because I have it in both
Yeah.
places. But Connecticut was the first place, and Tessa's still like my go-to person if I'm struggling with a plot line or something. She's my phone a friend.
Oh, so, and she's
So
so
like,
nice
you
too.
know,
So it's like
yeah,
everybody's
yeah.
so
So
great.
so it's hard to say. I feel like, I mean, don't you feel like this? Don't you feel like um in our genre, authors are like really nice and
Yes.
supportive, unusually so.
Right.
And right, like 'cause I hear that romance authors are just so mean,
Oh no.
and catty,
No
right?
offense, no offense to romance writers if you're
Oh,
listening.
I should,
No.
right? Like
But
it's
I
just
think
what I hear. It could be
right.
wrong. It
The
could be
community
fiction.
is not
It could be
as
fiction.
much of a community. Like I feel like the
Yeah.
crime fiction community, like I don't write what you write, but we still kind of intersect and we can talk to each
Yeah.
other about it. We're not so siloed, which is nice.
And I guess because so many of us write books that are like easy to get through and fast, we're not competing for time
Yeah.
because people can read all of our
I
books.
know.
Like if you're literary fiction, maybe you get through two or three in a year. So like, they
I mean,
need
I'm just looking at
their
some of the
readers.
fantasy books I have on my thing to read, and I'm like, those fantasy books, those are like chonkers.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
have to
yeah,
actually, I think I read them. I don't read them consecutively. I think I read a couple chapters, then I switch to the fiction because it's like I can blow through these real quick, or the mysteries,
yeah,
and also
yeah,
the mysteries I think engage the brain a little bit more too. So it's not such a passive activity because you're like, ooh, is that a bad person? Or ooh, do I like this person? Or should I be worried about this? Where, sometimes fantasy, it's all world building. So it's kind of the more imaginative.
yes,
I'm living in a
yes.
uh, um, I think I love people that write thrillers like you because reading a thriller to me is like watching a movie. I just finished S.A. Crosby's latest, King of Ashes. I raved
Hmm.
about it because I think the whole time I was reading it, I was watching it in my head.
Yes,
And that's what I love
yes,
about thrillers because that's what I feel like you do with a lot because it is so tightly packed into 3 days of
yes,
but yeah,
yes.
and I
Very
think
intense.
so. I'm very envious of you guys who can write like that because it is so good. Um, I know we probably talked about this on the last podcast, but for new people, what made you want to write a thriller versus, just a literary fiction or a story of your life in sports casting, all that kind of stuff?
I don't think I ever considered literary fiction because I just don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
I remember when I started, I took classes at uh, the adult center for writing from Sarah Lawrence Writing Center, and that's a literary place.
Yeah.
And we went around the room, and everyone's like, the question from the instructor was, "Who's your dream author? Who do you want to be like?" And people are like Joyce Carol
Oh,
Oates and
right.
Margaret Atwood, and they get to me, and
Jodi
I'm
Picoult. Like,
like,
oh no.
yeah, I'm like John Grisham.
Yep.
And like I got
And then all
the
of a sudden you hear a
last,
record screech and everybody's like, what genre
yeah,
fiction? Yeah.
but then the instructor's like, well, you're probably going to be, the most successful. Like good
Right.
for you, and not that I was, but like, I just like, that's where I wanted to be in
And it's
that.
what you
And
like to read. And I'm
it's
not
what I
gonna
like to
lie and
read.
be like, yeah, I want to write the great American novel because I don't think I've read a great American novel like that spoke to me the way a specific cozy spoke to me or a specific thriller, like we just said with S.A. Crosby, it's like that's viscerally seared in my brain. I mean, I know it's a classic, but Great Gatsby, like I know the characters' names. I don't remember everything that happened. It's kind of like that. Um, and it's not even a success thing. It's a what do you want thing. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
I,
I don't think you can write what doesn't come naturally to you,
right.
or you yeah, in Stephen King's book on writing, which is one of my favorite books, you know, well, first of all, he's like pretty a humble guy. Like
Yeah.
he's like there are okay writers can become good writers. Good writers can't become great writers, and he believes he's a good writer,
Right.
which is shocking because I think he's clearly
Right.
a great
Right.
writer. But but like I think there's a certain gift or virtuoso that like I'm probably not even getting the word right. That certain people like The Kite Runner was such a beautiful book and
Right.
had like good and evil and good and like like you cry at every sentence
I
because it's
know.
so beautiful. But
Yeah.
like
Not everybody can do
like
that.
not everyone can do that.
Yeah.
Like but we can admire it.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Mhm.
Like that's okay. And And to circle back to your question, which you asked me a long time ago, and I went on a
That's
major
okay.
tangent. Um, Before I was a sports reporter, I was a news reporter,
Hmm,
and I covered a lot of crime. I
sure.
covered the Joel Rifkin serial murder trial and the Long Island Railroad massacre trial, and day in and day out crime. It was the period where if it bleeds, it leads. I guess you could argue it's still like that, but not even as bad.
Sure.
That was what was driving ratings. There wasn't really cable was just sort of starting up 24-hour
So
news and
you were the
everything.
news, right? You were the news. They didn't have
Right.
a channel they could go to for 24 hours a day. It was, you
No,
get the
it
six
was
o'clock
just
news
on
and
the
you're hoping for the
horizon.
best. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. So I covered that a lot, and I didn't realize um, how much it had affected me, in fact. So I didn't think about my decision to write crime fiction. I just decided to do it. I thought maybe because of the puzzle aspect or whatever. And then I was listening to another author speak about how writing writing crime fiction helps get like the darkness out of her. And then I'm like, and it was after Lights Out was published. And I was like, wow, that's why I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember my mom even saying to me, like, your reality day to day is death.
Yeah.
And also like it's someone else's. So it's not your place
Right.
to feel it,
Yeah.
and be affected by it. But I think I was very
Yeah.
much like I'm not a like there are
It's
some reporters who could be
empathetic.
like very,
Yeah.
yeah, like separated, and I'm more emotional.
It's a story. I mean, because it's people. It's not a story. It's people.
Yeah,
Everything we talk about is people, and
yeah.
that can, even if as someone who hates people half the time, still affects you. Like I can still hate the people that they talk about, but like they're still people. So
Oh
it's
my
one of
God,
those.
this
I
is
mean,
why I love you.
yeah, I people are like, you don't hate people. I'm like, you should see me after a meeting. I turn that Zoom off and I'm like, oh, I hate everybody. Why are people talking to
Uh,
me? But that's why, again, why I like the crime community, because it's for a bunch of people who write about death, murder, you know, horrible, horrible things, thrillers, psychological suspense, all this stuff. Nicest people. And I've
yes.
never had a bad experience. I know, there's obviously some bad apples in the group every time. I mean, I run the conference, the New England conference with friends, and you have moments where people are like, ugh. But for the most part, people I've talked to and people that have been part of my panels, people that have read my book, even if they don't like it, they don't come out and be like, you're the worst writer I've ever. And again, we all have imposter syndrome too. So we all think we're a bad writer, no
Right.
matter what happens, you're like, well, I could have done that better. But
Yes.
nobody, and you appreciate that because I think, like what you said, you write what you like, you
Yeah.
write what you know, and you're writing for a particular audience. You're not writing for the masses. You're right. I'm writing
Right.
baseball mysteries for people that like baseball. You're writing mysteries for people that have that sports, that thriller, that family kind of drama, if you want to put it that way. So it's
Yeah, no, I lean into the drama,
yeah.
definitely. Family
I love
drama.
family drama. It's my favorite kind of drama. And
Me
as we
too.
talk about, and as we're like, oh, it's so dark, it's so twisty. I just got a notice that my bird app is updating. So we're also birders. We also like
Wait, which bird app? Because
the
my
Merlin.
husband and oh, my husband and son are obsessed
Obsessed,
with that.
obsessed.
And like every other minute, it's like, oh, I just spotted this.
Yeah.
We have to slow down. We have to stop the car. I need to take a picture.
Okay, I'm not that obsessed, but like if I'm sitting out on the deck and all of them are
Yeah.
talking, I'm like, I want to know who they're talking to, and like I just put it in and say what birds are around. And I think part of that came
Oh,
from the
yeah.
pandemic because I put one of those bird feeders in the window so that while I was
Yeah.
doing my work, I could see what birds come, and also the cats, they like it. I have a new cat named Captain, and she loves the birds in the window, so I
Right.
have to get. It's right now. It's not filled, and I just know the birds are talking mad crap about me outside. Like this lady needs to get the bird feeders filled. But yeah, no, we're so dark. We're so, writing these. I mean, cozy mysteries is not so dark, but there's still death and there's
There's
still,
still that.
drama and there's still people you don't like. But then we're like, my bird app. Oh,
I
I
know.
have to watch
My
the great,
labradoodles.
the Great British Bake Off's on. I have to go. Like stuff like So I feel like that's why we're such a diverse community in that way,
Yes.
because
Yeah,
it is
totally.
we carry, what do they say? We carry multitudes with us. We're very,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely.
So I will say I went on to Amazon this morning, and
Ooh,
the first two books in your series are on Kindle Unlimited, and they're $4.99 for ebooks. So if you want to get caught up on the series before the third one in August, go now. I have them.
thank
I'm caught
you.
up, so I'm better than you people. But I highly recommend it. What? Okay. How did the People magazine thing happen? Just through your agents, or
I I happen to have I think the best agent in the
yeah?
world. And Liza Fleisig of LRA, I'll give her her plug because
Yay.
she deserves it. And kind of everything happens through her, you
Yeah,
know. I have a publicist that's connected with her, and together, they made this happen.
that's awesome.
Yeah, I
Did
feel
you?
really supported. And I have to tell you, I had the worst agent as a TV reporter. Like
Okay.
I had terrible, terrible experience. So
Shout
I
them
feel like
out
the
too. No,
world, he's
name
dead.
them. Oh, then you can name them because now it's not libel, right? He's
I
gone.
mean, it's not even liable
No,
because like literally I
he
said
just
to
didn't
someone
work.
in the business, no, no, he was the worst. I said to someone in the business, oh, I had the worst agent. And he's like, oh, is it blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, how did you know? He's like, you said you had the worst. Hint, he's the one who screwed up Connie Chung's contract for
Okay.
nightly news. So
Yeah.
it's like out there that he's
Yeah.
the worst. It
He's
wasn't just
not so
me.
good. Yeah.
He's not so good. But we're not naming him.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Even
he's
though he's not
dead,
alive
so it's
anymore.
fine.
Yeah, he's
It's
dead.
fine.
Um, yeah. So anyway, let's just so I don't get in trouble. In my opinion,
Yes.
he
Allegedly.
was the worst for me.
Right. Right.
Um,
But now you
but
have the best.
karma in the world, I feel like has come back to reward
Yes.
me for that. And literally now I believe that
Yeah.
I have the best
I mean,
agent in the world.
you're everywhere. So yeah, I mean, like you said, you have a book tour coming up and you're like all over the
Yeah.
East Coast, like just everywhere.
Yeah. All over, like not just the East Coast.
That's
I'm
true.
I'm going to California and Poison Pen and Murder by the Book.
There you
And
go.
this is my agent. Like
Yeah.
she, so yeah, yeah,
Are you
I'm really
excited?
excited.
Yeah. So
I am.
where's your first event?
My first event is in Connecticut
Oh,
at Eastford Library with the first blogger I ever met, Jody. Um, and I met her along with Diana Carr's books.
okay.
And I'm
It's
messing that
early
up,
on
but
Sunday morning, like with
yeah,
names
yeah,
are
yeah.
hard. Yeah.
But with Diana, and then I think Drew was there. Like it's the first Connecticut bloggers I ever met, and then there's another second group like that I met right after that.
Okay.
And it's like I feel like they're family
Yeah.
because um it was the first time I got asked to sign a book, and I'm like, who were you asking to sign a
I
book? Like
still feel
what?
that way. Yeah. Still,
Right?
100%.
Like Diana was the first person. She had my book at this event. I'm like, it hadn't come
Oh,
out yet, lights out. So I'm so excited to go to this event
yeah.
because it's like my OG people.
Yeah.
And all of at the beginning. And then I'm going to California. I'm getting on a plane. I'm going to San Francisco.
Oh.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I'm really
And then
excited.
you're coming back and you're gonna hopefully do some tie-ins with the US Open.
Yes, yes,
Fingers crossed. Um,
yes.
so we're
Keeping
at
that in the little
obvious,
suspense box.
yeah, right. As you're promoting book three now, do you have plans for more? And do you have ideas of the sports that you're going to approach next?
So right now, I'm I'm actually my next book. We're giving Kate a little bit of a break,
Okay.
and I'm in the middle of because
Yeah.
at Thomas and Mercer, you're kind of producing
On
a
a
book a
deadline.
year.
Yeah.
I'm working on a news reporter.
Ooh.
And so I still want to stay in what I know
Yeah.
well, but yeah, I'm doing a news reporter in Manhattan.
Oh. And is it going to still be
And
with the same publisher?
yes, yes.
Okay. Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Was that
So,
your idea, their idea? Were they like, hey, maybe think of some other characters? Or you're like, I have another character and I want to write about her.
no, it was kind of a mutual
Okay.
thing. But I don't like to think of Kate as like done. I
Yeah.
just think she's
A
having
break.
a hiatus. Yeah, a
Okay.
little bit of a break. And um, yeah, I have some stuff I think I'm ready to explore. Like writing the new stuff actually is more emotional for me.
Sure.
Um, the sports thing, I mean, besides the murder and
Yeah.
the drama, was still like a little more fun.
Because it's a game. I mean, let's be honest. I mean,
Yeah, it's a
sports
game. You
are a
win, you
game.
lose.
Yeah. I
Like,
mean, news, it's
um,
like we said, real
yeah,
people, real,
yeah,
real gut punches. I mean,
yeah,
obviously there's some of that in sports, but it's less of that.
right,
Yeah.
right. So, yeah, and I'm having fun with it. I feel like your first main character, I don't
Oh,
know, tell me if you feel the same way. It's so much of you,
yeah.
like, and now that I'm learning more,
Hmm.
because that's what I love about writing is that you're
Hmm.
learning.
Yep.
Like, you're learning to pass time without going through a long, like, I brushed my teeth and
Yeah.
then I went to bed and you're constantly learning.
Hmm.
So I'm learning. My biggest challenge in this book is to make a main character that's not me,
Okay. Yeah.
that's different. So that's been fun. Although she's my height. I'm making
Okay.
Kate, I made
Oh,
tall because I wanted to know what it was like to be
yeah.
tall.
Right.
And, I'm like 5 feet. You and I
Yeah.
are
Uh-huh.
not the tallest people in the world.
No,
And I decided, no, she's going to be
I
my
love
height.
that. Well, because I mean, let's be honest, being of a certain stature, it does affect things when you're
It
living your daily life. My
does.
brother, last time he was here, rented like a Jeep with the top off and everything, but it was like a fancy Jeep. And I felt like a toddler getting in and out of it because I like had to jump into it and then I had to like fling myself out. I was like, yeah, this is too tall for me. I don't like it. Like, I'm 42 years old. I
Oh,
can't be like swinging my legs in the car. Like, no, ma'am. Oh,
I hear you. So I drive a golf cart in
okay.
Key
Oh, yeah,
West,
sure.
but I couldn't I couldn't fully
Oh,
put the brake on. So the guy actually installed an extender.
genius.
So
No,
yeah, I hear you. And you know that when I used to interview NBA players, I would stand on a milk crate.
you had to.
Actually, when I interviewed any
I was
player.
gonna say, I was like, it's probably not just. I mean, we were just talking about my brother and his girlfriend yesterday, and I'm like, they're both 6 feet tall, and then so anytime I stand in between them, I just feel
Yeah,
a kid again. I'm like, hi guys,
you're
like
like bend
so.
down for the
I know. I'm like,
pictures.
I can't. How's the air up there? Which is so rude. But like, oh my god,
Yeah,
what does it
I
feel like
know.
to be like that? And then when somebody at the grocery store asks me for help getting something, I'm like, oh,
Right.
this never
Uh,
happens.
right.
They're
And
like,
then you look
okay,
down at the 7-year-old.
yeah, yeah. And then she's like, okay, weirdo. I just wanted the pudding. And I was like, oh, well, thank you for making me feel mighty for once.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but we are coming up to the 10-minute mark, which is when I
Oh,
like
okay.
the 10 minutes to go because again, I don't pay because I'm very cheap. Um, so the book comes out August 19th. I just pre-ordered it, so it's like on my list. What was I gonna ask? What are you reading now? Or are you still just are you in book focus?
Oh, no, I'm actually reading David Ellis right now. Um, he's going to be in conversation with me in Chicago.
Okay.
Um, and he's excellent. I just finished Look Closer that he wrote, and I'm about to start a new book of his. His pacing is so good, and um, I I I've been staying up way too late
Yeah.
reading it. Yeah, yeah, but it's excellent. It's excellent.
So for those
Um,
listening, definitely go to her website and find tour dates near you because you will be across the country and
Across the country,
you
yeah. Oh
should
my God, I
go.
would love. And the swag you showed, minus the mug, but like the little the stickers and the mints and everything. Yes, the tennis bracelets. I'm bringing all of that to every bookstore. Yes. So come see me and get swag.
I know. I'm like, let me see what else I got. I got all my little Nancy Drew books. Those will stay in there. You don't need those. Those
Yeah.
are not the swag you're gonna get. You're gonna get all this good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I don't drink coffee, but like me, this is me with Diet Coke. Like if I'm not responsible if I haven't had a Diet Coke during the day.
Yes.
Um, but like I said, your first two books for those are on Kindle Unlimited. Picking them up now because Kindle Unlimited's great. They're also pretty cheap on ebooks. So like, guys, get started reading because you've got what 3 weeks
3 weeks.
before it
3 weeks.
starts, and then you can be ready for tennis. Watch the U.S.
Yes.
Open. Ask Elise questions at all her events in the next month.
Yes. Yes.
And
Reach out to me on
she's required
Instagram.
to answer them because she wrote about it. So
Uh,
I
I'm
can't guarantee the
happy to.
veracity of some of the answers, but hey, it's the same thing when people ask me baseball questions. I'm like, I'm just going to say it and we're going to hope for the best. I think it's right. It's right in my head. So we're just going to go with it.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about tennis is like it is so dramatic behind the
Yeah.
scenes
Oh, yeah.
in the games, but also like the turmoil and the,
Mhm.
one coach coached one player and one coach coached the other. And I don't know, it's like there's so much
It's
meaty stuff
so
in
fun.
there.
I can't wait. I
Yeah.
can't wait. It's going to be
It's
fun.
yeah, very
But thank
excited.
you so much for taking time out of your Sunday morning and being so
Oh,
flexible. We had to reschedule this because I had family stuff yesterday. I ended up going to a Cape League baseball game, so it kind of worked out a
there
little.
you go.
Yeah, had the
Yeah.
family time and then a little baseball time. But make sure people go get the book, and I will post all
And yours
links.
too. I mean, I love your books,
Oh,
so people should read both. And I love speaking with you.
yeah.
This was like such a great beginning to the morning. So
I
thank
can't
you.
wait to see the new book too, and we'll have to talk about that next time when that comes out in 1 year.
Yes, I would love that. I would love that. Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you so much, Elise.
Bye. Thanks for having me.
Obsessed. I'm probably like she doesn't know it, but I'm like her biggest fan. Ever since that time when she gave her little, I make sure I was a debut author in 2019, and so I make sure at the New England Crime Bake every year to be a part of the debut author presentation because it kind of happens. And we're gonna try to do something different this year, but it kind of happens in between things before a big dinner, so sometimes they get the short end of the stick for presenting to people, and we do it like in a hallway. So I always make sure to go take pictures, hopefully give them a shout out on Facebook if I remember and get all their names. And I've met a lot of friends and a lot of people on the podcast through there, and hopefully they get a little shine. So Elise has written the Kate Green, and it's coming out every year. And now, like she said, we're going to have a new series. So we'll see what that's going to happen. Now, to my writing, nothing's happened. Still editing, still drafting. I'm about 16,000 words with book 4, and I just killed somebody. So that's a plus for a mystery. I've been doing a lot of real, like my job, which why does my job take me away from reading and writing? But that's kind of what's going on. I'm also organizing a flash fiction contest. So if you are on Facebook and you're friends with me and you follow the Sisters in Crime New England and you happen to write mysteries of a short nature, up to 500 words. It's a contest that we are sponsoring with the Foodie Federation in Plymouth for their Chalktoberfest event. The top 10 entries, as voted by Sisters in Crime Board, will be asked to read at SIPs at 1620 in Plymouth and have the chance to win cash prizes in front of live judges. I'm still reaching out to judges. Hank Philippi Ryan is a name that we're trying to get. I also emailed my favorite newscaster, Doug Meehan. We'll see if he responds to be a judge. We're also going to have a local chef as part of the chocolate event. There'll be chocolate, there'll be alcohol to purchase, there'll be drinks to purchase, there'll be food to purchase. And it'll be a nice night, a nice late afternoon in Plymouth on October 12th from 5 to 8 p.m. And we hope you all come out and we hope you maybe submit some works. I'm not a short fiction writer. Also, I'm the organizer, so I don't think I can submit anyway. But I think it's going to be really cool to see what we can get from like local flash fiction. New England Crime Bake also does a little flash fiction. It's called Flash Words. So I'm intrigued. I'm seeing what's happened. I don't remember if we talked about this last week. I say that a lot on this podcast because things run together and I don't take notes because I go by vibes. September 6th in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania at Cupboard Maker Books. Misty Simon and I will be doing a signing from 1 to 3. And then I will be at the Sierra Madre with the Cumberland Valley High School class of 2000 celebrating our 25th reunion. And note, so much cooler now than I was in high school. Just a little chunkier. It's fine. It happens. So hopefully I'll see some Mechanicsburgians down there at that time. And then September 26th, I will be up in Maine for the new Maine Crime Wave. I'm going to be on one of their round tables, and I might be signing up to take a class. They have a bunch of great teachers, so we'll see. I'll spend a nice little weekend in Maine. But as of now, as of this moment, those are the only events I have scheduled for the rest of the year. So I'm still waiting to hear about reissues of books 1 and 2, but if you want books 1 and 2, reach out to me. I have copies and I will sell them to you, and sometimes I'll sell it to you at a discount. So just put let's say if you reach out to me and you want to buy a copy of books 1 and 2, mention the discount code Red Sox Rule, and I'll give you like a $5 discount off everything, and I'll ship it directly to you. So on that note, that's my little sales pitch. I literally just recorded another podcast that will come out later next week. So I'm kind of bumping up on a lot of people. Oh, I forgot. You guys want to know what I'm reading, right? Like, oh my God, I always forget when I'm rushing at the end of a day. So I'm finishing the Midsolar Murders Mysteries, The Infinite Archive. It's a mystery in space. I get confused in sci-fi a lot because it's a lot of computer terminology, but this one's fun. She always ends up, there's a murder. There's sentient ships. There's cat videos. There's a cat god. So I have like 1 chapter to go, and this is a library book, so it's got to go back this week. I bought it a while ago, and I'm starting to read it now. The Pharaoh's Tomb by Lindy Walker and Bruce Robert Coffin. I've talked about them before, and I'll talk about them again because I love this series. And also, Olivia Black had a little contest on her I think it was on Instagram, she had ended up with 2 copies of Murder Takes the Stage by Colleen Cambridge, which is the Philadia Bright Mysteries. Philadia is the maid? Well, housekeeper. I knew it was one of those for Agatha Christie. So there's a lot of that. And I just finished Kelly Oliver's Agatha Christie on the Murder for Orient Express book, which was pretty cool. And also about Olivia, who's friend of the program. And I'm going to have to email her to get her on for the next book. I love her little card. Look at, boo, Olivia. Even if the Capitals are going to play the Bruins on opening night. So that night we won't be friends, but every other night she's the best, and I hope to see her at Malice, which I'm signed up for next year. So on that note, the Red Sox are still winning 1-0 at the top of the 3rd. So I'm going to hopefully end this on a high note. And as always, happy reading and go Red Sox.